Thank you for taking the time to view a budget conversation, connecting with our community. An overview of the 2022-2023 budget process in the Wappingers Central School District. I would like to lead by taking the opportunity to thank the following individuals: Board of Education President John Lumia, Vice President Peggy Kelland, Trustee Carrie Cahill, Trustee Keith Odoms, Trustee Marie Johnson, Trustee Eddie Sloshower, Trustee Michael McFarland, Trustee James Spencer, and Trustee John Morgan. Also members of the Senior Staff Administration, Mr. Darren Wolkema, Assistant Superintendent for Compliance and Information Systems, Dr. Michelle Cardwell, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Ms. Kristen Crandall, Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Business Development, Mr. Richard Zipp, Assistant Superintendent for Student Support Services and Accessible Education, Ms. Renee Harris, our Director of Human Resources, Mr. Ron Broas, Director of Facilities and Operations, and Ms. Alberta Pedro, District Clerk and Secretary to the Superintendent. So what is a school district budget? What does it consist of? Well, it provides for the educational needs of students while maintaining compliance with New York State regulation and law. It's the annual spending plan for the school district. It's an aggregate view of all of the financial numbers that drive the district's operations for the following year. It's created in alignment with the Board of Education annual goals. And it's more than a collection of numbers, it's a reflection of the mission and core values of the entire Wappingers Central School District community. The budget process begins when the budget calendar is approved by the Board of Education, which occurred this year in mid-October, and ends when the annual budget is brought to the voters in May. It's a long, steady, and complex process that involves the administration, Board of Education, and the community. Remember again, the theme for this year's budget is connecting with our community. The official work began after the budget calendar was approved by the board on October the 18th of this year. It includes date for submission of information from building and district level administrators and departments, presentations to the Board of Education, study work sessions with the Board of Education, presentations to the community and schools, presentations at local municipality meetings, something that we are introducing this year to be as transparent as possible, and the New York State mandated budget hearing and meeting dates. Data gathered includes preliminary equipment requests, new staffing, and curriculum proposals. Also included are important dates for Board of Education candidates, voter information dates such as absentee ballots, and mandated approvals for submission to New York State related to the budget. The 2022-2023 approved budget calendar can be found on the district's website. So how can the Wappingers Central School District community help to make this a community process? We understand that the budget document, financial terms, and acronyms used during the budget process does not reflect everyday language used by many of us. What can we do to help? We have provided a list of frequently used financial and budget terms on the website that has been developed to bridge the gap and have a more fluent conversation with the Board of Education and our community. This is updated annually and can be found on the district's website, which is www.wappingerschools.org. The budget process enhanced. Building and department levels. What happens? Building level and department budgets have been developed independently and reviewed as such. The process now involves an enrollment-based approach with dollar amounts allotted based on grade level. This applies an equal standard budget for each and every Wappingers Central School District student and enrollment-based funding to each school from the general fund budget. Enrollments are updated annually, as is the budget allotment based on the current environment as well as projected economic forecasts. We need you to help the Wappingers Central School District build the 2022-2023 budget. Opportunities to share feedback, ask questions, and gain a further understanding through district-sponsored events will occur during the Superintendent's Forums, which will be held 3 times this year. Also, the budget email, which is budget@wcsdny.org, and also information on our website in regards to the 2022-2023 budget. Public comment at Board of Education's and public hearings in the spring of 2022 is highly encouraged. District administration will also hold community presentations at the high schools and, as I mentioned before, local municipality meetings. The expense components of a school budget includes benefits, health insurance, Social Security, workers' compensation, transportation, instruction, which is primarily student programs, and general support, facilities, personnel, business, and general insurance. New York State budget versus New York State financial reporting. How do they differ? New York State budget, benefits, transportation, instruction, and clerical support. That all is needed to be reported for the annual reporting format for school expenses required by New York State. Now we go to the financial reporting, and that involves the administrative component, the capital component, and the program component. That is all necessary for the New York State reporting for school budgets. As required by New York State, reporting for expenses is different than reporting the budget. And we show the annual budget in both formats so that it's more easily understood and explained. Review components of a school budget. What does it consist of? State aid, federal aid, property taxes, and miscellaneous. Upcoming budget dates in 22-23, based on the proposed calendar that you need to be aware of. Obviously, this is the first presentation, done virtually, a superintendent forum. On January 10th, there will be a general support and instruction presentation to the Board of Education. February 7th, another superintendent forum, a budget conversation. Also on February the 7th, transportation and undistributed budget presentations to the Board of Education. And Vehicle Replacement Plan 2022-2023, also a presentation to the Board of Education. February the 28th, Superintendent's Forum, a budget conversation, that will be done in Spanish. April 18th, 2022, that is the deadline for the Board of Education approval of the 22-23 budget. May 9th, the Community Forum, which is a state-mandated public hearing on the budget, and then the budget vote, which is May 17th of 2022. So 2021-2022 budget revenue by source. 70.8% came from the tax levy, 26.94% came from New York State aid, 1.51% came from other revenue, and the fund balance was 1.46. Just over $256 million was the 2021-2022 budget. How do all of the pieces get compiled to achieve providing for the educational needs of students while maintaining compliance with New York State? Building and district level administrators create budgetary requests for submission. These requests include staffing, supplies and materials, equipment, new curriculum proposals, and in-service requests. The administration uses estimates for costs that have yet to be finalized. Examples include health insurance, retirement systems, energy costs, etc. Another example is the district's health insurance rates, which are not finalized until March. An estimate is used for the period from November to March for discussion purposes. Once finalized, the budget is updated accordingly. The administration uses estimates for revenues that have yet to be finalized. A prime example is New York State aid. The governor's proposed New York State budget is normally released in January. From November to January, an estimate is used. An update is done in January, as applicable, to reflect any change in the estimate being used. The deadline for a New York State budget is April 1st. If the budget is passed into law, the New York State aid amount will be finalized for the district's budget. We will continue to have forums to gather data and opportunities for feedback. And we will continue to provide opportunities for the Board of Education and our entire Wappinger Central School District learning community to ask questions. We want this to be an interactive process for the Board of Education, for the administration, and community. Again, connecting with our community. So, the Superintendent's Forum Budget Conversation, upcoming dates. February the 7th, 5:30, we're not sure of the location at this point. February 28th, 5:30 will be the Spanish presentation. Again, we are not sure of the location at this point. If you're interested in learning more about the budget process, all community members are invited to learn how we gather information to develop the annual budget, how we use estimates in the budget, and how we arrive at the final budget number that is proposed to the voters. All are welcome and encouraged to attend, and a recording will be made of this conversation and posted to the Wappinger Central School District website if you are unable to do so. Historical data on past Wappinger Central School District budgets, they can be found on the district website for the years 16-17, 17-18, 18-19, 19-20, 20-21, and last year for 21 and 22. Again, I would like to thank you for the opportunity that you have taken to view this budget presentation. We look forward to connecting with our community and hearing from you and gathering your input so that we can put forth a budget together that reflects the values, goals, and objectives of the Wappinger Central School District learning community. Thank you again for your time in viewing this presentation. Thank you.